Can you believe that it's 2021? How's the Starmount Rams going to be?
They're young. We got a good test Friday night. No better way to start it.
Yep.
It's a team that's been in the finals 3 years in a row. So
yeah, no
we'll
kidding.
see.
Well, guys, welcome to the 2021 season. We'll play some theme music. We're missing one. Hopefully he'll show up during the music. But let's roll the tape, and we'll see you on the other side. We're back, guys. I mentioned right before the music started, 2021 fall football season's finally here. I know we had the spring to kind of get us ready for the fall, but we're back. Dina, better than ever, joined again here by Chelsea, here for a second year with us. Welcome to both of you guys, ladies.
Thank you, Chris.
Glad to be on. It's that time of year.
It really is. And you'll notice we're missing Jack. I don't know where young Jack is, but I'm sure he'll be here soon. We know that he's a busy guy and is out probably playing ball somewhere, if I had to guess, or doing something cool. But he'll certainly be here with us. But here we are, the first week of the 2021 fall season. I'm glad that we're here. I hope that we continue to be here. You know, guys, we've seen the COVID numbers start to spike, and teams left and right seem to be losing games, going into the protocol, the quarantine. I don't know. What do you think?
As far as sports, well, I just got back from a boys soccer game at my school, and, with COVID, with the Wake County mandate for mask, we had to wear our mask entering the game. I think if you social distance, you could take it off, but no extreme protocols yet, but it was still good to see some sports.
You just have to keep watching Twitter, Facebook, any kind of social media to see if something gets canceled. We've seen people make arrangements, and then those arrangements, everybody knows what's happening up in the mountains. Saw Chris's tweet that he retweeted up there in Pisgah, up in Canton, the flood. So just want to wish all the people that have got affected. I mean, it even kind of came through my area. It was tornado about 5 miles from my location. So just thoughts and prayers to all the people affected by this terrible storm that came through this week.
Yeah, I've seen those storms coming through. Glad to know both of you are okay. And yeah, those pictures of downtown Canton, reminiscent, I think it was like maybe 2004 or something like that, when those last great floods really came through there. It was pretty amazing. To give you guys and everybody the rundown of the show tonight, we're going to start off with the head football coach of the Lee County Yellow Jackets, Coach Steve Burdeau. And here in a bit, we'll also get Coach Keith Boyd, who's the head coach of Northside Panthers, the Pinetown Northside Panthers. They will be trying to get back to the state championship games. They went 8-3, lost a nail biter, probably one of the best state title games of the year I saw this past spring when they took on Murphy. So we'll get Coach on here in a little bit. But I guess, guys, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Coach Steve Burdeau to the crowd and see if we can talk a little football with you, Coach. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Oh, and before we get started, Stevie Trevette says hello too, Coach. So
hey, that's a good one.
Let's bring that on. He's been one of our longtime listeners, so we appreciate you getting on. And we do have quite a handful I can see on my stats right here. But Coach, I've got you as one of the top 2 or 3 teams here in the 3A moving back, and I think it's quite possible that you could be one of the best teams in the state and still not be the best teams in your conference. Man, that conference that you're a part of, it's pretty brutal. Tell me about it.
Yeah, without a doubt, we're excited about that competition. I think all those programs that we're joining the conference, or we're getting an opportunity to be in the conference with, all help us raise our expectations and standards of being an elite football program. As far as being a highly ranked team in 3A, that's our goal. We want to be always up near the top of the rankings, but really, if we weren't, we're going to try to find a way to prove somebody wrong if they didn't put us up there.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it's a tough deal. Anytime you're in a conference with Richmond County or Scotland or Pinecrest or, even the teams that might not be considered to be top tier teams, I've competed against Hope County many a times. They're always full of talent. And of course, you've got the teams in your own backyard that you know a lot about as well. What excites you about this team? I mean, every team, regardless of how much talent you bring back, always seems to develop its own little unique character or personality. Tell me a little bit about what excites you about this team.
Yeah, so this is a really fun group. This is when I got here in 2018, us as a coaching staff come together. We had this is our first group of freshmen. They're now seniors. So they're our first 4-year group. They're a really fun group. I think they enjoy to be together. They push each other. They're not a group that gets on each other to nag at each other. They get on each other to push each other, and it's just really fun some days at practice how competitive we can be, and we try to make the practice be even tougher than the games, and hopefully that's the case.
And I've got a question too, kind of like you talking about competitiveness at practice. What's the culture that you implement, within your team?
Yeah, so everything we try to do everything at a fast tempo in practice. So I think that that's one thing. Work ethic wise. We try to be guys that are going to grind. Everything comes, I think, in football, starting in the weight room. It all starts there. So if we work hard in the weight room, take care of our classwork, we can handle our business on the field. So that hard work, I guess, would be something we're trying to instill.
Awesome. And then one more about one of your athletes, your senior quarterback, Will Patterson, if you want to talk about him a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Will did an outstanding job for us this spring. Stepping into his first really varsity playing time, led us to a 8-1 record, and got some recognition in the conference, and really had an outstanding summer. He's now able to take leadership over the offense, and he has a very good understanding of what's going on in game. He's a very, very smart kid, so it's just great having a kid like that back to be on that side of the ball.
For sure.
Coach, who are some of your guys that people need to know about? Who's going to be some of your leaders on offense and defense besides the one you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, so we have a really good group of seniors, I feel like, coming back that have a lot of confidence in being leaders. One of them is Eli Garrison. Eli's a guy that really does a lot of the dirty work. Might not have had the best, just overall eye-popping stats in the spring. I think he'll have some good ones this fall, but gets after that receiver and some at safety. Landon Johnson up front on the defensive line. TJ Johnson playing linebacker and getting some carries. And Darion Jennings is a kid that's playing some both ways. And can't go without speaking about our kicker, Kennedy Hernandez. It seems like every day we're moving a couple yards farther back and we're kicking field goals.
Well, Coach, I know you mentioned this is the first group of seniors that have been with you. I've had a chance to visit with you numerous times. So I've seen the inner workings, whether at some of your practices or just sitting right there in the same office that you're sitting in today. But tell me, you took over a really good program that I think was already well established from Coach Cates. but really you, in my opinion, and this is no knock on him, but I've seen you elevate this program to almost just immeasurable heights. You've had some great coaches, but, kind of circling back to what Chelsea said, talking about the culture, talk a little bit about the weight program and how you've built this, and also some of the assistant coaches. And maybe I'll tie together, you lost Coach Jacobs up to Middle Creek, announced a week or so ago. Tell me how that's affected things.
Yeah, so I think, it all starts with, we got a great group of coaches that are here that work their butts off, and I think they're great leaders to the kids. So I think that makes it easy for the kids to follow that work ethic. So it all starts with that, Coach Santiago, Coach Lett, Coach Herron. We got a whole crowd of coaches that just get after it. Coach Jacobs, we're very, worked with him a long time. Hate that he's not going to be on the sideline with us this fall, but I'm excited for his opportunity, and he's gonna do an outstanding job. We got to be one of the best hires that Middle Creek High School's had in their school history. He's going to do a fantastic job down there. And with our bye week, we can go watch them play. And I'm sure on theirs, they'll be here to watch us. But in the last 3 years, we've had 2 guys leave our staff to be head coaches and 3 to be coordinators. So we're building the program, but we're also helping build some coaches. And hopefully we can keep that thing rolling.
And Coach, I know upcoming you have a week 1 game versus Northwood. So what's the mindset going into that game and your expectations?
Yeah, so I think the boys are really excited to play. Obviously, everybody at this point in the year, we had that grind in the summer where we practice in the morning and we get a lift in, and everybody gets to go have, do whatever they do in the afternoons. But we're finally getting to go against somebody else. I know they enjoyed scrimmaging last week, but scrimmaging is only so fun. So when the lights turn on, even tomorrow night for the JV group and Friday night for the varsity group, I know the boys are really excited. And expectation-wise, I just want us to get better in every game. Hopefully in week 1, we're good enough to win. That's all I want to be. And then, I want us to be able to be better in week 11 than we were in week 1. So we got to improve. Coach,
I got a couple questions. How weird was it just playing in the spring and now turning around a few months and playing in fall? Did you guys do anything different? Did you not push the guys too hard in the off season, or how did you deal with that?
So I think we did adjust a little bit. We really had a lot of guys. We pushed guys to play multiple sports. So we had a lot of guys who played baseball, a whole lot of guys who ran track, a few guys who wrestled. And that was really the first month after the season. We really pushed them to do that and lift weights while they were doing that. We had some good success in the track program. We had a runner-up 4x1 team in the 3A. So we're really excited about that group. And once we got into the summer, we did a whole lot more change of direction stuff than we usually do in the summer, because we usually do that in the spring. So we caught back up with that as we still lifted. We never stopped lifting. I feel like it all starts in the weight room. So we keep the boys moving some weight.
And if there was a kid or two that really improved, might be a sleeper kid for you to step up this year, who may that be?
Yeah, so I got 2 offensive linemen, both Tyler Mcmullen as a rising junior, and he played last year as a sophomore. He had a really, really good summer. Big boy, really, really strongest kid in our school. And Wyatt Rickard, another offensive lineman. I expect both of those 2 guys to have really good years. Everybody doesn't always know who the offensive linemen are, and usually unless they mess up. But these 2 guys are going to help us move the ball.
Coach, following Deanna's question about the second one ago, in spring, football was because of COVID, and I know with the new variant coming around, are you guys taking any precautions, to prepare for that, or if anything else could happen like previously? Yeah, definitely. So we try to be in front of everything we can be. So when we got back from the dead period, the clinic dead period, we started wearing masks again at practice before it was even put in place by our local group. We just wanted to get ahead of that in case anything did happen. So we're wearing them at practice. Everybody's wearing them inside, but we decided to go ahead and just take care of that on the field. We were able to do it last year and have a successful spring. So if that's the only thing that we have to do to help these boys stay safe and stay on the field, it's worth it to me. And the boys have done an outstanding job, stepping up to that expectation.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot going on and are doing the best you guys can to protect all the players involved, the coaches, and hopefully we can not only see you guys continue to do that, but really everybody across the state. Because I know I can speak for at least the three of us or the four of us here on here. I know that we all want to see football be able to continue through this fall. We don't want to get halfway through and, they put the brakes on it, or maybe only see some teams get into the playoffs, potentially maybe playing 4 or 5 games. I think that could be a concern. So, I know we all want to get a chance to see it and see it played to fruition. I know that you don't want to think ahead to the playoffs because you got a whole bunch of games to get there to then. But I'm sure that you still plan ahead and, are trying to do everything you can to kind of taper the players up towards the playoffs so that you're peaking at the right time versus, trying to start off high and then only having one direction to go but down. So, and again, I kind of say that because the way the COVID variant and everything is, you don't want to start trending your kids in the right direction and all of a sudden be looking at a 2 or 3 week absence.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think one thing that we try to do is, we coach the JV group just as hard as we do the varsity group. We obviously have a little bit reduced offensive defensive scheme, but we really put passion into coaching the JV guys. So we always just a call up away from having a guy ready to play. It's never about if they can do it mentally. It's always, are they just physically ready? So hopefully that's something that also keeps us prepared if in the worst case scenario with something happening.
Absolutely. Wadena, Chelsea, and we had a couple comments right here. Coach Jacob Milligan talking about the O-line. He's an old O-line coach. Got a John Harris. We appreciate your comments, sir. A couple guys up in Hickory tonight. So we appreciate everybody coming on. Any more questions for Coach Burdeau before we can let him out of here for the evening?
All mine were answered.
I'm good.
Well, Steve, appreciate you coming on always for the support you've shown us over the years. We can't wait to see what you guys do on the field. I know it's going to be a tremendous season for all the fans there in Lee County and in Sanford. But keep us up to date. If we can do anything to promote some of your players, let us know. And I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Hey, thank y'all, and thank you for all y'all do for high school sports in North Carolina.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Have a good evening now. And that is Coach Burdeau. We're waiting on our next guest, Coach Keith Boyd. He sent me a couple text messages right here trying to get in. But you heard him, Coach Burdeau, and he's already left the studio. But he is probably one of the sharpest, most well-organized coaches that I've ever dealt with in my 20 or so years of being around this game. You go to his practices and you see how well he coordinates them and executes just everything from the smallest details up. I mean, there's just no wondering why his teams have been so good.
Yeah, he's been really good there at Lee County. Had some really good players, and so I expect them to be in the hunt again this year. So good luck to Lee County.
Yeah, and he made a little comment asking if maybe Jack didn't want to show up. I know that he played for Jack's dad when Jack was an assistant at Southwest Onslow. It looks like Stevie said, did Jack get the memo for tonight? Well, Stevie, he certainly did. But you know what? Hopefully everything's okay with him. We hadn't heard anything otherwise, but I'm sure he'll be coming along here soon. Let's see. We still don't have Coach Boyd yet. So with that, Chelsea, well, actually, there he comes right now. Let's get him settled in here to the studio here momentarily. And we'll get him on. There we go. Looks like Coach Boyd is here. Coach, welcome here to the program. I'm with Chris Hughes, Steve King, and Chelsea Sipple. How you doing this evening?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Doing
good.
Doing tremendous. How is the excitement down there in your community following the incredible run you had last year? Obviously, any year, and you've been coaching long enough, anytime you show up and start a season, there's always anticipation and expectation because it's just so new and everybody has them hopes of going to the States. Well, last year you did it. I know you lost a lot of seniors off that team, but I still think you guys have a pretty strong core coming back. Just tell me about the excitement level.
Well, the anticipation's high. We've had a great turnout. Kids have come all summer long. Our numbers are as high as they've been in the last 5 or 6 years. We're sitting at 50. We're going to have a JV team, 350 kids in a 1A schools. 50 is big time. So, we're just, we've moved our game from Friday night to tomorrow night. We play Camden Bruins, and, we'll see what happens. We're hoping for a big crowd, and, I guess everybody kind of wait and see what we see anyway.
Yeah. Now, I know you've been coaching a long time, and I was at your game, and I don't want to look too much in the rearview mirror, but I do want to revisit this because it's still such a cool story. I was on the sidelines of your game against Murphy. I stood in the back corner of the media room listening to your very emotional interview, and just the pride that you had about your team and a couple things. And I asked you about that excitement because I remember you telling the story about, you guys took about 30 or 45 minutes just to get out of the county because so many people wanted to wave at your buses, and you just had such a huge crowd and so much positive energy coming from that run you guys had here in the spring. I wanted to say last year, but it really wasn't last year. It was only a couple months ago. And then even the game itself. And I was in there, and I've been close friends with Coach David Gentry for many, many years. And he complimented you guys so much in the media room, and even to me personally, saying that, you guys exceeded what expectations they had for you. They didn't really know what they were looking at. And then he said the game plan you guys came into that state championship with was probably the best game plan anybody had ever really attacked them with in many years. And so he was just extremely complimentary of you and how you guys did that. But do you still pinch yourself at how good that season was? Because, I know as a coach myself, it's so hard to get there.
Yeah, it was, just kind of the way COVID was, you waited so long for your season to get there. And then as the weeks went by, with it being a shortened season and only having 7 games, then you're into playoffs, and, you run upon a couple of really good teams there. And, we just put it together. It's hard to even put it into words how things just started rolling in the playoffs. Rosewood was a big win for us. We got through that game with by a point. They had a great team, and it's a little surreal. It's just real. It makes you. I tell you what, you didn't really even get a chance to really enjoy it because you didn't have the off season. And getting people back in. Heck, I got out of that state championship game and rolled right into baseball season, and then got out of baseball season and rolled into football season for the summer again. So I've told the kids, enjoy that. That was last year's team, or actually, like you said, how many times you get to play high school football and play 2 seasons within a year. So really, it's just hard to distinguish between the two. You're just trying to get everybody focused on tomorrow night. But Coach Gentry and those guys, I appreciate everything you guys do. It was really an experience to those kids, and I'll never forget.
Coach, who are some of your top players that are coming back for you this fall?
Yeah. Well, we have our fullback back, Mitch Godley. And that's going to be big for us. We returned 2 starting linemen, Braxton Boyd at our center and Landon Cahoon, who's our left tackle, or we call it our closed tackle. Kiefer Boyd, our quarterback's back with a lot of experience. We have some guys that mix in. Noah Manning, who plays corner for us. We have about 6 or 8 guys coming back that are seniors with a lot of experience. But we also, that state championship game, we were starting 3 sophomores on defense that just kind of came along as the season went. So we also have, we look a little young on paper, but we have some sophomores and juniors who gained all that experience throughout the spring with the run we went on. So, we feel good about what we're bringing back.
Yeah, and Chelsea, I'm going to step in line in front of you real quick.
You're
I see
good.
Jacob Milligan, and he's an old offensive line coach. He is always on here promoting the O-line. And I was going to mention that. Your offensive line, I thought, was one of the true strengths of that team last year. And you and I both know you can't. It don't matter how good your skill players are. If you can't get it done up front, you're not going to get a lot done.
Well, and we rely on that. I'm an old offensive line coach, transferred over from defense, but when I took the head job, that's where I jumped in. Didn't have a whole lot of experience or a lot of coaches, but now that I've gathered some coaches, I've kind of branched off and done other things. But I'm telling you what, especially in 1A football, if you don't win up front, you don't win. You know, we don't do the 7-on-7s, that kind of stuff. When summertime comes here, we focus on the O-line. Our tight ends are part of our O-line, and we work on just the little things that will help us do inside-outside veer better. But we throw it, but we throw it within practice within our 7-on-7. But we don't just go off everywhere 2 or 3 days a week. We work the O-line and make sure that they know that any type of front that we get, we hope that we've coached them well enough where they can call and make adjustments.
Coach, looking ahead at your schedule, do you have a game that you or the team are most looking forward to? And if so, how would you attack that game?
Tomorrow night, you know, everything's a step.
Yeah.
You know, we know they're coming in. They're high on their team. They think they have a pretty good team and well coached. So we don't ever look ahead. We haven't for 20 some years, and as long as I'm there, we're going to take them one at a time, one practice at a time, and just try to keep getting better at what we do.
I like that.
You know, Coach, I wanted to ask, you know, you mentioned the summer work and the fact that you don't do 7-on-7, which, by the way, I'm a split back veer kind of guy myself. So, you know, I've always said 7-on-7s are fake football. And while, yes, they do have a part, and I understand them, and if I was coaching, I'd take my team to them as well. But tell me how you saw maybe the maturation of some players by playing that season in the spring versus having this quick turnaround to come back. Have some of your younger players maybe grown faster or matured faster, or do you think having this shorter off season has hurt you? And either way, whether good or bad, kind of elaborate on how you feel about that.
Well, because we went as deep as we did, and we kept to our same, you know, who we are. We were the older guys who played our O-line and our wing backs and things like that. You know, we would make sure they got a few reps. We took it especially on Mondays and Tuesdays. We plugged our guys who were going to be with us in the summer and the fall for this upcoming season, and we allowed our kids to coach our kids. You know, when they were out, it was don't get back there and play around. It's all right, you watch your position, and if you see him take a wrong step or make the wrong call, you know, the more eyes, the better. And those seniors were there with experience for a reason. So hopefully we taught them well enough where they could jump in there and help us coach, and they did. I mean, it was we spent 3 or 4 weeks with kids who weren't even going to be starters for at least 25 to 30% of our practice. They got reps like they were the starters.
Coach, in Eastern North Carolina 1A, in your area, who are some teams that you think can have a great year?
Well, you know, there's 4 or 5 that come right to your brain. Of course, Tarboro, being 1A, they're going to be good. Rosewood's bringing a lot back. Pamlico County, Southside. You know, there's probably a couple more I'm leaving out, but you know, it's going to be a hard road. You know, Riverside, you know, they're going to be athletic always and well coached, and it's kind of just it's right. Typically, what people think is Tarboro and then whoever else. You know, but they deserve that rep. You know, they've worked hard and they do a good job, and you know, we're just trying to keep doing what we're doing. We're not necessarily focused on other teams other than ourselves. We got through 2 scrimmages. We liked what we saw. We stayed healthy, and all eyes are on tomorrow night. You know, when I get back tomorrow night, I'll see what it looks like on film.
I hear you. And also, another one of those Eastern teams that I've been hearing a lot about in terms of just sheer athleticism is Perquimans up there. I think that they're going to be real solid. In fact, I've been just kind of the conversations I've had with some coaches from the East. They wonder if they may be, at least from an athletic standpoint, maybe the second best team behind Tarboro this year. So, we'll kind of wait and see. I wanted to ask one question, and I never like to assume because you just know, but is your quarterback your son? Is that Kiefer Boyd your son?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir.
I thought he was, and I remember watching him in that game last year. And if I'm not mistaken, he might have been your punter as well.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I just, and you see that a lot more in the 1A and 2A because you just got an athlete. It's just he's one of your best athletes, and you just got to play him about everywhere. So, that's kind of old school right there.
Well, we try to keep him off defense because he's so valuable to us on the offensive end. But we think having him as a punter, that kind of adds that dimension of, it's a little easier to throw some trick plays in there, if people don't adjust quite right. And with his quarterback skills, is we have audibles built in to what we see. And then if you try to throw, you'd much rather have your quarterback back there throwing than some guy you pulled off the sideline just to kick the ball.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Well, Coach, again, you mentioned to us you moved your game up to tomorrow against Camden County, so good luck against the Bruins up there. Coach Sophia is one of a Rowan County boy that I've known for many years, so I'm still pulling for him up there. But good luck in that game tomorrow night. Dina and Chelsea, I know we appreciate you coming on and just talking some football with us and just talking about your community and your team, and hopefully we can maybe get you back on later in the year.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe it'll be in a good situation.
Thank you, Coach.
I have no question. Well, Coach Keith Boyd, I appreciate you coming on tonight, sir, and we'll let you go for the evening. But thanks, and again, have a great year.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. All right, Dina, Chelsea, great interview there with Coach Boyd. Tremendous team they had last year. I was just completely amazed at how well they did in that state title game, and just had a great time following that run. And it was kind of good because, there is just kind of one of those teams that you don't always see in those deep runs in the playoffs. But every now and then, just a run comes together. And when that happens, it's just magical for that community, and it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, and playing a team with the tradition of Murphy, and like you said, it was probably the best game of the whole playoffs. So, the state titles game and everything.
Hey, hold the presses, guys. We got somebody joining us here tonight.
About time.
Sorry. Your fan club has been wanting to know where you been.
Yeah, people been going wild in the comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
You need a light on in there.
Hold on. Here we go. Your fan Stevie wanted to know if you did not get the memo tonight.
So yeah, I kind of had a little brain fart for a little bit.
It's okay.
First night.
All right.
Wow. Hey, breaking news here on NCPreps Live. We're getting a great look of Jack walking through the hallway of his house, getting set up in his room. Man, this is just live behind the scenes action that you just do not get to see every day. Jack, tell us, is this going to be an episode of NC Prep Cribs?
Yeah, I think it is. I like this segment. Yeah.
Hey, why don't you show us what's in the refrigerator? I'd like to see what your mom's cooked for us.
Well, I think the reason I may have forgot is Mother's in Raleigh right now, so she was not here to remind me. So
I know she spoils you rotten. You be at these camps and she brings you. What is it? What is your food? Your favorite food?
I had ribs tonight. My dad got smoked like a month
ago. I'm talking about at the camps and combines. What did you specifically have her go get you?
Oh yeah, Zaxby's. Yeah.
Zaxby's.
Always getting Zaxby's.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, hey
Yeah.
Jack, you missed out on the front part of the show. I had a special guest that came on. We had one of the former Miss Americas that just wanted to talk to you tonight, and you
Oh,
missed
wow.
out, and she hung up and left us.
Dang, I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
realize.
we're good. But hey, again, we kind of welcomed everybody and just talked about the excitement of this 2021 season coming in.
Yeah.
I know you've played a lot of ball throughout the summer, but how excited are you to kind of finally get back into some fall football?
I mean, it's a different feeling. Like before the season last year, it feels like it has more meaning this season. Just like the first regular season we've had in a long time. I'm just really excited. I'm really excited to go to games with full stadiums. I mean, full teams. I'm going to Gibbons versus Chambers Friday night, so starting it off with maybe the best game in the state. So
it is.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. I hope that we have full stadiums, and I hope that we continue to play ball. And we kind of talked a little bit about this earlier with all the COVID breakouts and things that we're hearing.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We're going to move forward in the show. Chelsea, I know that you had an interview this week, and tell everybody who you talked to.
Yeah, so I talked to Leesville senior Tyler Lasseter, and he's actually a player I've seen quite a few times in person and previous to COVID. I think for football, at least the Sanderson student section considers Leesville one of their biggest rivals. So
Absolutely.
They've gotten us majority of times, but he's a fun athlete to watch, and I thought coming up on NCPreps, Leesville game is something I'm hoping to go to this year. So spoke with him.
Well, good deal. Well, let me run the clip, and we'll catch you on the other side. Here we go.
From the rundown from NCPreps, and this is Tyler Lasseter, senior from Leesville Road Football, offensive linebacker. So, Tyler, going into your senior year, talk about some of the things you've done to prepare for the season, workouts, visits, anything to get ready.
Basically the whole off season, we've had a real short off season. I've been in the gym every day and also field work with my teammates as well, normally every Tuesday and Thursday, just trying to get better and better myself. And for camps wise, I went to NC State and Wake Forest, and I went to a couple one-on-one workouts with Elon. And then I went on a visit on Elon, and I plan to visit the Ivy League schools over the rest of the summer.
Awesome. And again, your senior year, do you have any personal goals, team goals? And then if so, how are you working towards them?
Personal goals is to lead the state in tackles at linebacker personally, and obviously to win a state championship with my teammates for the last ride and just have an amazing senior year and ball out.
Awesome. And then what can we expect from Leesville Road Football this year?
We can definitely expect a really solid team, really well and sound-based defense. And our run defense is going to be incredible this year, and same with our pass defense. Our offense is looking real solid. Our receivers are quarterbacks, and definitely our running backs. I believe we're one of the best running back cores in the state. And I'm really excited to see what we can do, and I believe we can make it really far, if not states, for sure.
Cool. And then in conference, out of conference, what is one matchup you most look forward to this season?
I'm definitely looking forward to the Cardinal Gibbons game. They've always been a rival against us, and I have a couple buddies on that team, and we've been talking about it since last year, even though last year we came short, but we're here to redeem ourselves and show them who kind of runs the conference this year.
That'll be a good one. And finally, describe yourself as an athlete, both on and off the field.
As an athlete, I always put my all into it, on and off the field. Like, obviously, academics is very important, and it comes first. And I always try to have at least straight A's or maybe a B or two every semester. And I'm taking APs this year. And education is obviously very important. And on the field, I mean, it's a whole different mindset. It's my escape. I like putting it all into it. Like, I love the grind. I love the game. I love everything about it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Again, this is Tyler Lasseter, senior offensive linebacker from Leesville Road Football, and this is the rundown by Chelsea Sipple.
All right, Jack. Well, by the way, Chelsea, great job.
Thank you.
Leesville, very talented. But again, I mean, there's about 60 or 70 teams in 4A that are really talented, a very deep classification. But Jack, while we've been gone, your fan mail has just been coming in like wildfire. We got Stevie again, wants to know if you can get him a hat like that.
It's Dirtbags baseball exclusive. I like the hat with the skull and crossbones on it. You should see some of our uniforms.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
Yeah, you've seen some of the Dirtbag uniforms. They get a little crazy.
On your mom's Facebook.
Yeah, we had like navy. We had like not navy.
Yeah.
Army green ones with like
Jack,
the Dirtbags.
Jack, do you know what your mom posts on Facebook?
Oh, I don't even want to know.
I mean, we got some really nice photos that she's put on there. You know, in your younger days, kind of cute back there. So
yeah, I actually taught her how to take pictures this summer for my travel team. I gave her my camera and let her learn how to take pictures. So that was a fun experience.
Hey, we've got a couple other comments that have come in. UNC guy 1997 says, "Oh, I like this channel. Go Dark Horses."
Has to be Clinton.
Yes, ma'am. It sure is. And
They're
then
gonna be
he
really
comes
good.
back and he has an officiating question. I hope I'm getting this right, but can a quarterback throw the ball away after he is outside the tackles? In high school, you cannot. I know that that's a collegiate rule, NFL rule, but in high school, and if you're talking about just throwing it away, grounding it, escape a sack, I don't think you can get away with that in the high school. If for some reason, if Tony Hare or some of these officials out there might be listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is not the case here in the high school. Guys, we got some big games here week one. And you heard Coach Keith Boyd talk about their game got moved up to tomorrow. I know Anson County against Mountain Island Charter is now a tomorrow game, as well as one of our top 25 games, Rocky Mount hosting Tarboro. That's going to be an insanely good game. That's going to be tomorrow night as well. But, Jack, you had mentioned seeing Chambers and Gibbons, which I think that's the number one game in the state. I'm going to go ahead and kind of throw some of the top games that I've identified as the top 25 ones and get some of you guys just thoughts on it. So, obviously, again, Chambers at Cardinal Gibbons, you're right. That's going to be a tremendous ball game. But the Thursday night game, another one tomorrow night, Huff at Myers Park, Richmond County and Mount Tabor, Clayton at Grimsley. Dean, I think we've already mentioned about 7 or 8 D1 guys that's going to be playing in those 2 or 3 or 4 games just right there. Mallard Creek at Butler. The Bulldogs are going to be really, really good. The 2 E's, Eastern Alamance and Eastern Randolph. Eastern Randolph, by the way, is now a 1A team. I guarantee you they're going to have a huge say in the state championship run in the West. I think they're in the West. They may be in the East. I need to double check that. Let me do that real fast.
Especially with it just being 4 champions for the next few years.
Yeah, they're in the West.
It's all these games are huge.
Yeah. Oh, we got Coach Milligan says the Stones are back together at Butler, so that's state bound. You may be right, Jacob. You may be right. Anyone that may not be familiar, that's Coach Russell Stone and Coach Tripp Stone. One's on the offense, one's calling the defense. That's a pretty stout little combination there in Matthews. Going back down the list, though, Charlotte Christian at Weddington, Tarboro, as I mentioned, at Rocky Mount. Another game tomorrow night over at Memorial Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Charlotte Catholic versus South Mecklenburg. That's going to be a really good game. Terry Sanford at Kernersville Glen, Wake Forest at Southern Durham. We had Pisgah and Crest. Obviously, that will not take place. Jack, here's a game in your neck of the woods. Jacksonville at Southwest Onslow. 2 really good quarterbacks in that game, by the way. A.C. Reynolds at West Forsyth. I'm going to stop it right here. I mentioned it last night on Talking Preps, but any of you guys in the praying mode, just kind of send a prayer out for Coach Adrian Snow at West Forsyth. He has been hospitalized with some effects from the pandemic, from COVID. So certainly want to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Shelby at Kings Mountain, East Lincoln at High Brighton, Chase at Mountain Heritage. Mountain Heritage is another one of those teams moved down to the 1A ranks. It's going to be a force to deal with in the championship. In fact, I've got them as my number 2 ranked team in the 1A. I think
They're
Mountain Heritage is extremely dangerous football team. Can you continue down the list? Western Alamance or Reedsville? Reedsville, they just do nothing but reload. A couple of Coach Teague's players have some sprained ankles, though, so they may be hobbling a little bit, and you don't want to be missing a beat against Western Alamance, albeit they're really young as well. Drone at Thomas Jefferson, those are 2 1A powers now. Lee County at Northwood, obviously we talked to Coach Burdeau. Monroe at Marvin Ridge. Monroe's one of the best teams in the 2A. I was really close to making them the number 1 team in the 2A. Shalik Knotts, who just committed to Maryland a couple of days ago, one of the best athletes I've seen in this state. He is the real deal. Asheville at Robbinsville, Wallace Rose Hill at East Bladen. I think Wallace, by the way, has a chance to go to the championships out of the East. They're really good. Havelock, again, another team in your neck of the woods, Jack, at Croatan. Salisbury at West Rowan. That kind of concludes the top 25. I'm going to throw it to you two, or you three, I should say, and just get some thoughts on these games or really any other games.
Wow, Shelby and Kings Mountain playing the first game. You know how well they love their football there in Cleveland County. So they're starting off the season with a bang there with those 2 programs.
Agree. I appreciate the comment right there. I think I know who you are, by the way. But anyway, appreciate the comment. Got a couple others coming in here. Coach Vestal, and you're right, Dean. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just seen that comment kind of come through. South Granville starting with a hard non-conference matchup with Orange. I'm not real sure how good Orange is. Coach Van Smith did reach out to me today. I'm trying to find him some JVT games. But South Granville is always just really, really tough team. Always really really hard to deal with. But Dean, back to your thought, it is kind of crazy seeing Shelby and Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain's not quite what they were. You can't lose, some of the talent they lost, but they sure did put on a show in that scrimmage against Charlotte Catholic Friday night.
Well, that was kind of how they played. Was it this past spring, the epic overtime, or was
the
it
7 overtime game? That was the 4th round of 19.
Yeah, the last fall we had. So, but yeah, I mean, it get back to earlier. It is this is when high school football should be. I mean, I it's just been a whirlwind year, and so it seems like this is getting back to somewhat kind of normalcy, because August is start of high school football. You know it's where you're about to burn up out here on practices and games, and then in December you're like freezing your rear end off. So this is high school football time in North Carolina.
No kidding. Chelsea, Jack, any thoughts?
I gotta find a game to go to nearby since the Anderson one got canceled. But
I'm telling you, I think you need to head over to Chambers at Gibbons. I think that's the game.
I just might.
There's a lot of talent on both of those rosters.
Mm-hmm.
You got Dalen Smothers, who is a 4-star running back. Class of 2023 has numerous offers. They got James Pierce back there for Chambers. Chambers is trying to win their 3rd straight. So great coaching staff there with down there in Charlotte. And then Cardinal Givens, Coach Wright, coming off a great season. They had a great year, and they have a couple of guys themselves that their tight end just committed to Duke. What's his? I forgot his name.
Jake Taylor.
Jake Taylor, yeah. So should be interested. And Jack, I hope you get a lot of good videos and photos and a lot of good stats for us.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I saw, I think yesterday, some clips of Chambers in their new uniforms at their media day. They went to like this big complex that does like professional photo shoots with like all the lights behind them. They look tough, and they have like orange chrome helmets.
Yeah.
And they had about like 5 different uniforms. I was like, this is like a college program right here.
It really is. It really is.
But yeah.
We got a couple comments coming in. Chris Harris says Clinton versus Goldsboro week 1, but I think the big one will be next week with Clinton at Wallace Rose Hill. I agree with you there, Chris. That could be a preview of the 2A Eastern Championship. I'm going to look at my tracker real quick. You're certainly right. I'm looking at my Eastern teams right there. Clinton, Northeastern, St. Paul's, Washington, Wallace, East Duplin. I think those are the standard. I think the champion from the East most likely would come from one of those teams, and maybe Whiteville. Don't sleep on Whiteville. I've had a chance to look at Whiteville.
Don't sleep on Whiteville.
Yeah, Whiteville is electric, guys. I'm here to tell you Whiteville is going to be really good. So I think, going back to this non-subdividing playoffs, it's going to be a very fun November. I know I'll be up there a lot looking at some games. Jacob Milligan writes, Chambers will be interesting since the defensive coordinator is gone. Coach Hackett is now at Independence. I've been speaking with Hackett a little bit. He tells me the defense is coming together really strong, looking really solid there at Indy. You're right. I mean, I think that there will be somewhat of a difference, but I don't think it's going to make the team. They've just got enough talent. They're going to overcome the coaching.
When you have those type of players, coaching does matter to some extent, but with those talent and that type of players, Pierce is like pictures that I've seen of him. He's like 6'6", 6'7". He's huge, and they just got guys like that all over the field. Smothers and probably top 2 running back in the state. They're
got speedy, little shifty wide receiver Kevin Concepcion. He's starting to get some notice on the colleges, so. They're very good. So should be a good one.
Don't count out Gibbons Friday night. They're gonna have their stuff together. Do not count them out. They're gonna go in there at home, try to pull the upset. I would not count them out with the way that they play. I think they have a good chance to win. But
Stop the presses, guys. Jack here's already announced that Gibbons is going to beat Chambers in week 1.
No. I'm picking Chambers, but I don't think it'll be a landslide, and I would not be surprised if they lost just with the culture at Gibbons and the program that they have. But It's going to be a great game. I'm excited.
100% the level of coaching does make a difference. Look at Mallard Creek. UNC guy says, I love the non-subdivided playoffs. Makes for a more exciting season. Every game will be more meaningful. I concur with you there, my friend. Well, guys, that about does it for our first show here, the 2021 fall football season. I had to change the graphics up and put fall in there and some stuff like that. But we're going to slowly make some changes. Hopefully get some more content next week. Send us some comments. Tweet Dina at NCPreps or myself. Or obviously you've got I don't know if you guys have your no, you don't have your Twitter. What Dina does. But look up Jack or Chelsea. Send them a message. If any of you guys, when I say you guys, any of you young athletes out there would like to be interviewed by Jack or Chelsea, tell them how they can get in touch with you.
My Twitter DMs are open, and my user is at Chelsea Simple. So if you want to interview, please reach out.
Type in I know Jack into Twitter, Instagram. Should pop up. Send me a message. I'd love to interview. I'm going to get an interview at the end of the Chambers Gibbons game.
Gotta give Jack some credit on that Instagram. It's growing nearly 2,000.
That's
a major thing. You're a guru on that.
Absolutely. That's worth a ding, Jack.
Yeah.
I got a little toy for this year.
I liked our last post about the all-state first team. It was a little edgy. I thought it created some opinions by the page. I liked it. There was some,
But Jack, now come on now. How can you put? I know Coach Samick would love to have Malachi Hamrick at Roseville. So
Okay.
how did that happen?
So when I created the graphic, I did the offensive slide first, and then I did the defense, and I guess I forgot to change because I forgot to change Roseville from Noah Rogers to. Him.
I bet Coach
forgot.
Will Banks down at Shelby was like, "What is going on?" You know, you had all of Shelby probably going crazy.
Yeah.
The good thing is the picture was of Malachi on the jersey instead of Shelby, so that did make me feel a little bit better about myself. So.
Well, good deal. Good
graphics.
Guys, I think I've about exhausted all of my questions. I do want to throw it out to you, Chelsea. You're kind of moonlighting. You're doing double duty now with the Charlotte Grubber team as well. How did that go for you last night?
I think it went really well. Looking forward to everything, getting more interviews, and just getting in touch with more and more athletes.
Good deal. Well, we're certainly proud of what all of you guys are doing, and we're still going to try to maybe find another correspondent or two, but I'm happy with what we got as well. Dina, I always try to give you the last word going into every episode, so I'm going to give it to you. Any words of wisdom you can depart us with?
Well, I don't know about wisdom. The grind is getting ready to start. Games will be starting tomorrow just because of the weather and everything. And then Friday and Saturday, I'll be in Greensboro as a Grimsley defensive tackle. Travis Shaw, 5-star, number 3 in the nation. Prospect. He's going to be announcing his college destination, and he's got 4 finalists. He's got Clemson, Georgia, North Carolina, and North Carolina A&T. And so he's supposed to make that public about 6 o'clock on Saturday, and I'll be there to cover it as I try to do a lot of the athletes in North Carolina. So my wisdom is everybody stay safe. Do what you got to do to be able to play. Remember others. Be very careful because an action that you do may cause bigger issue for your team and everything. So everybody be safe and have a great ball game tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday, or whenever you play.
Yep. Thank you for that.
I do. Yes.
I had to throw that up.
Well, right now it might be underwater.
Yeah.
We actually planned a trip to the mountains for week 9 of the season, and we plan to go to Tuscola versus Pisgah.
I don't know why Jack won't come up to Star Mount. I don't know why he won't. He gets to see his number 1 fan. We'll save you. We'll get you a seat up there in the press box, right there with us.
All right.
Hey, if y'all stay undefeated by that time of the season, then I may check
Well, guys, for Jack, for Chelsea, for Dina, I'm Chris. We appreciate everybody. Our numbers have stayed high throughout the entire show. So everybody that tuned in to watch us tonight, thank you for that. This is NCPreps Live, and we'll catch you next week. I'm going to roll this music one more time. Wait. Hold on.
Got an outro.
Get the picture made.
Well, you get our pictures. Whenever I go to the game, I got the camera, so pictures or videos. It's gonna be a fun season. So
all right,
wherever I go, I'm getting pictures. So
outstanding. Well, Jack, I'm gonna play this music for you since you missed it on the way out, on the way in. But guys, y'all have a great week. Have fun week 1 of the high school football season, and we'll catch you next week.
They gonna be trying to call over that bitch, get on that thing tonight. Go with it.
What are you still doing here?
I was just gonna say sorry. I was I did my baseball stuff, and I guess I got inside at about 8, and I just like laid on my bed, just like dead, didn't even do anything. And I checked my phone, and Dina texted me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I realized, and I was like, oh no.
Well, hey, we're still live, so tell your fans good night.
See y'all.
All right, guys. Hey, you don't go nowhere. Hold on. Here we go.